let's talk about the difference between a pay-for-play event and a prepaid event. Now, a prepaid event are all of those events that you do kind of on an everyday basis where your customer's calling you and they're agreeing to pay a certain price for a particular unit, and you bring it out to them and they pay you the price and everything's done. This can be discounted up, it can be, expenses can be added to it, but generally the price is agreed upon before the event, and payment is taken, at delivery. Those kind of events are, like I said, are a lot of the company's bread and butter. It's what most of us do, and what really kind of runs the engine of the party rental business, and is a huge portion of how you market and how you structure your company as well. And again, it's easy to kind of work towards that and to structure towards that and to market towards that, because you know what you're giving, they know what you're giving. You're basically meeting in the middle where you're giving what they're getting and everybody's happy. That there are some bonuses to this. It's guaranteed money. You don't have to worry about it fluctuating. You kind of know up front what it's going to be, and how you're going to stand. And it's pretty consistent around certain times of year. You know that a lot of the holidays are going to be filled with these kind of events, and weekends that are nice, events like ball games and things like that. So there's into school. So there's something that you can kind of, a structure you can work towards and market towards in the whole 9 yards. And again, not so hard to kind of get your head around. Some of the negatives are that it is structured in a certain way, and that your price is basically determined by competition. You're not going to get too far out of whack. There's nobody out there that is kind of setting the standard, because we're all getting the equipment from the same places, and we're renting it to the customers. There's nothing that is more special about one or the other, unless you have a unit that nobody in your area has or something like that. So that being said, there's nothing unique about you, so the prices are set strictly by your competition. If your price range for a bounce house is $125 to $175, across the company, you're not going to get much more than that, and you should not rent for much less than that, simply because you're just taking money out of your own pocket. And then the other thing is that you're dealing with other people, and depending on whether or not they are, they have the ability to provide the same facilities that you have, as far as insurance, and as far as they're paying their taxes, and they're licensed, and they're reputable. Sometimes you run into companies that aren't that, or somebody that's just starting, or something like that, and they don't have those other abilities. The good thing about that is that generally those particular companies are generally small, and honestly, there's enough out here for everybody. So I don't sweat the competition from the other guys, because I was there once, and I understand trying to move forward and build your business and get to a point to where you're making money. I want to help if I can. Like I said, there's more than enough to go around for everybody, as long as everybody's willing. I can admit to you that it kind of really still kind of gets under my skin if I see an event that I've done in the past, or that's local, if it's in my neighborhood or something like that, and they're using a different bounce house company, that still kind of gets under my skin, simply because what's the point? I'm the guy, so it's literally in my neighborhood, so why? But anyway, competition can be one of the other things. On the other side is the pay for play. Now, the pay for play is generally you are agreeing to provide the inflatables, and either for a fee that you pay the person or the event or whatever, or for sometimes it's free, but you have to collect the money that you need from the individuals. Pay for play. These events have some huge upsides in on the dollar side, because it literally it is, you can make as much as you can make, or as much as the customer is going to pay, I should say. So, I mean, I have done events where I've made $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 in pay for pay revenue in one day for, you know, X amount of units, and that's some pretty decent money. And again, you know, that ability to generate revenue is a huge plus side. On the negative side of that, I mean, and there are a lot. I don't do a whole lot of pay for plays now, simply because of the negatives. If the weather is bad, you're out. It doesn't matter. I mean, that's the risk that you took. If the people don't participate and they don't, you know, pay the money, or they don't spend the money, then obviously you're out. So you, just as easily as you can make several thousands, you can lose, you know, 1,000 or 2,000 just because you've paid booth fees and you've invested time and energy and labor and units that could have been rented to someone else, and none of that is coming to fruition. So you can lose a whole lot of money. And then on the flip side, like I said, there is a lot of time and effort involved in a pay for play. A lot of the prepays is you know, setting up, dropping it off, setting it up, and then you're gone, moving on to the next one. Whereas the pay for play has to be manned, has to be monitored by you, and you're taking on a lot of liability, and you're taking on a lot of responsibility. And in this day and age, you know, there's not a whole lot of room for someone to correct someone else's child. And believe me, I'm not into yelling at other people's kids, but it's just gotten to a situation now where it's totally a safety issue, and you're constantly in that struggle, in that balance of trying to figure out how to make the kids follow the rules while not upsetting the parents at the same time. So it takes patience, a lot of patience to get through that, and it, you know, it's not for everybody. So, you know, those are the two kind of different things. The other thing with the pay for play is that, you know, it generally does fall on a predictable weekend. If it's a festival or something like that, you could find these fairly easy. Just go Google festivals in your area, and you can find a ton of them that have those. There are other kinds that may or may not pop up. You may have you know, somebody trying to do a fundraiser or something like that. The one thing I want to caution you about is that people have the misconception to believe that inflatables will draw a crowd so that they can generate money. And what they will do is they will offer you this spot to make all this money for this event, and you get there and you do your part, and the money is just not there because they haven't done the advertising, and they haven't done the, you know, whatever is needed to bring the people in. They assume that you simply setting up inflatables would do that. And you know, most people understand that you don't go to a party you're not invited to, so it doesn't work that way. And people you know, really don't understand that. Some of the worst pay for plays that I've done, anything that has to do with a race or a run or anything like that, and it's for one reason only, and that is that people don't bring their wallets when they're in running gear. When they're in it's whatever super macho race or whatever, none of those situations, they always leave their wallets at home or in the car or whatever. They don't have it with them, so they don't have the ability to pay you, and they will walk right by, and then they're not going to go to their car and then come back. So yeah, the races and things like that, generally my rule of thumb is that we do that as a prepay, or if you're going to do it, just do it as your part of a donation to whatever cause that they're doing. I don't try to make money off of that because it's just not there, and it doesn't help. There's nothing worse than an inflatable that doesn't have anybody on it. It doesn't look good for you. It doesn't look good for the event. It's just not. It's not good all the way around. It's the only thing worse than that is one that's overloaded. You got too many kids on it, and it creates a danger. So, but anyway, those are the two different kind of events that you do. And again, you can market for each one differently. What I like to do is for the prepays, I go from holiday to holiday, and I just market from the holidays with pictures of my units. Easter or Thanksgiving or whatever, anything in between, and just kind of go from holiday to holiday. On the prepays, you have to, on the pay for plays, you have to look for them. So Googling festivals in your area, things like that, is probably the best way to do it, or some kind of event page on Facebook or something like that. Anyway, I hope you guys liked the video. If you do, subscribe, give me a thumbs up, tell everybody about us, and we'll keep bringing them to you. I appreciate your time, and we'll see you on the next one.
I don't really know what comes next. I'm just doing my best, even though I'm so stressed out. Everything just feels like a test that I fail, so depressed when I can't seem to get out. But something deep inside won't let me quit. I swear that I'm inspired by all this shit. Tell me that I can and I won't. That's what guides me the most. Your lies, I'll do what I want. Inspired by thirst, I'm inspired by worth. I desire your worst, so you can just hide while I work. I ain't tired, you first. I'll write a second, third verse about the lies you go disperse. You never did shit, I know it hurts, but something deep inside won't let me quit. I swear that